This is Chet Holmgren, and I'm down to dunk.
This is AJ Mitchell, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Alex Crusoe, and I'm down to dunk.
It's like baby bottle pop. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This is Adam Flagler, and I'm down to dunk.
Hey, it's Isaiah Hartenstein, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Cason Wallace, and I'm down to dunk.
I can't spell Lucas. Hey, how do you spell Lucas? How do you spell Lucas?
This is Lou Dort, and I'm down to Dort.
This is Nikola Topic, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Dylan Jones, and I'm down to dunk. This is Isaiah Joe, and I'm down to dunk.
And there's probably like 50 to 75 Beanie Babies.
Give me like your top 3 Pokemon.
Bro, I can't even name.
This is Jay Will, and I'm down to dunk.
Sometimes the way his brain works is it leaves a lot to be desired.
This is Kenrich Williams, and I'm down to dunk.
Charmander.
Charmander.
Or are you more of a Charmeleon guy?
Charmeleon.
This is Shake Gilgeous Alexander, and I'm down to dunk.
Schlecht. You know what it means? Yeah.
That means like bad.
It means bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
Well, it was a good interview, so it wasn't bad.
J-Dub, year 3, and I'm down to dunk for the 3rd time. Thank you.
Welcome to Down to Dunk. I'm your host, Andrew Schlecht. We're part of the Athletic Podcast Network. Before we get to the leftovers of this crazy Game 4, I want to tell you about my good friends, Aaron and Drew Reese at Shelter Insurance. Listen, I bet you care about your car, and I bet you care about your house. Do you care about protecting them is the question. And if you do, you should call Aaron or Drew. Call Aaron at 405-773-5500 or Drew 405-478-7714. You can call or text either of them on those lines. Shelter was ranked number 1 on the Forbes list for the world's best auto insurance company. And right here in Oklahoma, they've been ranked number 1 for customer satisfaction by J.D. Power for 6 out of the last 7 years. But honestly, the biggest thing is you can trust these guys. So give them a call today. Michele, what is up?
Hello. It's been a weird playoff run.
Yeah.
Like extremely weird. As Rose 27 says, my stress levels were too damn high. Mine too. Let's say that we got the shooting variance game in game 3, the what the heck is happening game in game 4, the demolishment in game 1, in game 2, and they really lost something that they shouldn't be. So we got a lot in this series against Denver. I didn't expect everything that happened. I think that nobody would have. But I also want to give big picture here a little bit. OKC is shooting extremely bad from 3-point range. Not in wide open threes, which are in line with the season number. They are shooting 40% against Denver on wide open shots. 39% for the season. Everything else, though, the semi-contested looks are abysmal. They are shooting basically below 20%. And that is a statistical aberration that is not related to how Denver is defending OKC. Second, Denver has a lot of things going on for them that are quite weird. The Aaron Gordon, I'm not missing shots kind of thing, it's weird. It happens for OKC. It's way worse than last year because Gordon is hitting very difficult shots. Last year, like PJ and Derrick Jones Jr. were hitting wide open shots, which can happen in a series. Gordon is doing stuff that are just like ballistic bonkers. To hit 2 shots like that, it's a statistical aberration, which can happen, but also, you should not count on that re-happening again. And final note, I know that OKC is fouling a lot, and it's legit that they are giving up free throws. It's right. That said, the free throw disparity throughout the series is astonishing. This is not something that should happen with the way in which OKC is attacking. Denver is turning himself into the best or one of the best defenses in the entire playoffs. Guarding, packing the paint a lot. This is just not factual, so don't fact check me. It's probably one of the best defenses just because OKC is shooting like battle infantry. But to me, there is something else. It's not that OKC is not getting to the line. The free throw disparity, though, it's something that goes beyond what I can understand mathematically. It's not just lazy fouling. Denver is late in many closeout. So these three things to me says, yeah, it has been bad, but also, I mean, I would not bank on those things happening again in game 5 and 6.
Yeah, I thought that it was officiated so strangely. I just feel like each game has had its own way that it's been officiated. And I just thought yesterday there were way too many fouls called. Just in general. I just thought there were a lot that they could let go. And stuff that people were complaining about at times where, oh, this game's too physical. I didn't think yesterday was too physical. I really didn't. I didn't think that the Thunder were allowed to do as much.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that they were pretty sharp for the most part. It was just that they couldn't make shots. That was the biggest problem that they had. When you talk about Aaron Gordon, he's shooting 53% above the break and 57% from the corners from three during this series, which is wild.
Not easy shots, Andrew, for the most part.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like, the wide open. No, he's hitting sidestep threes. Like, what the heck? Like, that's...
Yeah, and like mid-range jumpers that are heavily, heavily contested.
Yeah.
It's not just the Thunder like trying to play the percentages on these guys. No, they're playing defense. They're getting out to Westbrook even, Yeah. Like they're not letting him just shoot every single shot completely uncontested. They're just not letting that happen. And it's working with Russ. Russ is 25% above the break, 21% from the corners. When you looked at his, percentages in the first series, it was like, oh my gosh. Like if Russ shoots like that, like you might be in trouble, but he's not. But it's Aaron Gordon shooting well. It's Michael Porter Jr. is 50% above the break for the series. I know he wasn't good in this past game, but he's been making shots. Jamal Murray's 40% from three from above the break and 50% from the corners himself. And I know that this last game was so gross in so many ways. But that's for the series. And you look at the Thunder, we talked about it on the show yesterday, where there just aren't that many guys shooting well, especially if you're a starter, you're just flat out not shooting well. And so you just wonder, are they going to get a game where any starter shoots the ball well? Because, who's the starter that's shooting best from three? This is kind of funny. From above the break.
I think I know that, and it's J-Dub.
J-Dub is 20% above the break in the series.
Isn't he the best?
Nope.
Starter?
Nope.
Oh, just above the break?
Just above the break.
In total three, is he the best? Well, I listened to the show this morning, and I don't remember. I don't know.
I have it by zone right now, but Lou Dort is the best from above the break. He's shooting 23.8%.
Yeah, it was close. Yeah. But he's quite bad in the corners, right?
He's 27% in the corners.
Mm-hmm.
And 27% in the corners for the series. Yeah, Shea's 21% above the break. Dub's 20% above the break. Chet's 18% above the break in the series.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely brutal for them. And yet they still have controlled this series for a huge chunk of it. They should definitely be kicking themselves in some ways about their execution, like especially thinking about game 1 where you just gave that away. Game 3 was just really rough down the stretch.
Yeah.
But that game 1 was the one. Game 3 is like, okay, like that Denver took that one, but game 1 it just felt like OKC just left the door cracked open and
but even game 3
tumbled all over themselves.
even game 3, like, come on, this is a game that you win like 98% over 100. I'm very curious to see the percentage of winning. I think that OKC had both games like well above 70% late, like, and it just happened. Like, it's, on the one hand, you are down a bit because that happened, but also, again, thinking about what the team is learning. I mean, to me, game 4, it was about that. It was a bad game for them. It was a game where they had to question their identity and change their identity late, because what Mark did in the 4th is not something that should be taken lightly. I think that not closing with Dort is something significant of like, it's something. It's not nothing. I really think that the struggling of everybody from 3 is forcing Dignal to change course, because you cannot allow to have like 2.5 non-shooters on the court, at like 3 even.
Yeah.
So you have to change something. With Shea, people will always be attached to Shea, very close to Dub. With Holmgren is still getting a little bit of gravity, but you have Dort and Hartenstein where the zone can really cheat, and they are starting to cheat on Dub and Chet a little bit. How can Shea create when a defense plays like that? You just can't. It was the Giddey problem. It is the Giddey problem all over again. And for Mark to have Caruso there, to give trust to Wiggins, Joe, I think it's not really healthy. It's not just the defense to me. It's he's not like really in sync right now. So to do that, I think it's very, very important. And we'll see what happens tomorrow in OKC, because that will be important to see how Dort reacts to that. And with Dort, to me, it's not just a lack of shooting. It's about, hey, you really need to be better on Jamal. Kaysen was better on Jamal, flat out.
Kaysen was good. I don't think like Dort's like completely ineffective as a defender. I also just think that
I didn't say that.
Huh?
I didn't say that. I mean, to me, it's not the Dort. It's not the Dort or Chamber. That let's put it this way.
Yeah, for sure. And then offensively, you just can't, especially when you're trying to beat the zone, which Denver just was pretty relentless with their attack, with their zone attack. Was you beat it by moving the ball. You beat it by screening, rescreening, finding guys that are wide open. And when it's Dort, like it's like you said, it's like Giddey, it's Dort, it's the ball is going to find the open man.
Yeah.
And Denver's like, hey, there's the open man. He's over there. You should get the ball over there. You should throw it to him. And when that happens, you live and die by Lou Dort. And I'm glad that Mark made the move, because I just don't Lou may have hit like his last 4 threes. Sure.
Yeah.
Is that possible?
It happened in game 1. Terrible start. Finished like 4 out of 9.
Yeah, that can happen. But you just don't want your season hinging on that when you have guys like Wiggins and Caruso and Casey Wallace on your bench. Like, you just have to use those guys. And they did. And they used them in the 4th quarter. I just, again, like, I really want to give Mark a ton of credit for that. And it just shows like how important Alex Caruso is. We were saying it all season. There were times where you felt a little bit crazy saying it, because he wasn't all that important during stretches of the regular season. But you knew that when it came time, like, you needed those guys. Like, you needed him, and Hartenstein were really big yesterday. And that's the difference. Like, if you just had Jay Will, who's been good in his own right, and Josh Giddey still in this roster, you just like ran it back. Like, Thunder might be cooked right now. Like, you just have to have those other guys in there. And, I think that everybody is feeling grateful for Alex Caruso and Isaiah Hartenstein today.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that the this series is also showing a weakness that we all, I mean, at the beginning of the season or in the middle of the season, we're saying, wow, this team is awesome. What can happen for them to do as a playoff series? And the three things that we were pointing out were lack of creation of the bench, lack of size on the wing, and shooting variance. I think that these three things are still there. They can make up for it. They are making up for it with Caruso on both the on-ball reps and on the wing stuff, and some on the shooting variance, but they are not there. I mean, the fact that they are doing double big, it's mainly because they lack a wing that has size and real size, not Cam Johnson size, which Cam Johnson is tall, but he's not a wing that can really rebound like Aaron Gordon or guys like that. The on-ball creation of the bench is something that they are making up for it with Dub taking more reps, which is great, with Hartenstein and with Caruso. So the shooting variance remains. I really don't understand why. I have no idea how to explain it scientifically. To me, those are legit shooters. Wiggs is a legit shooter. Shea is a legit improved shooter. I really banked on Shea being better from three, and he is abysmal compared to last year.
Yeah,
it's extremely weird. I have no idea how to parse that. So it is something that happens. I mean, Jokic is shooting terribly from three.
I was about to say they're having the same issues with their star over in Denver right now.
Yeah. So it happens. It is happening. It's still very weird. So if it's extremely weird to the most observers and you cannot find a root cause for that, then it's just randomness. And you probably will see that getting away sooner rather than later. Look at Dallas. Last year, they shot incredibly well in one series. And on the same level of shots, awfully. For the next two series. So that can happen.
Yeah. I can't shake the feeling that this does feel a little bit similar to the Dallas series. You know, in one of the first two games, you had a blowout and you had, a very close one, and then the next two, you had a nail biter in game 3 that didn't go your way, and then you win game 4. Now we're coming back to OKC for game 5. It has kind of the same rhythm. It's different, but it's the same. And it is just interesting that we get to see the Thunder in this spot again in game 5 on Tuesday night, because this is where you show, where's your growth from last year? I know that this is a completely different series. It's a completely different team that you're playing. It's not completely apples to apples, but it's important for this team, if they are who we think that they are, for them to go and win game 5, because it's really, really tough to win game 6 on the road. We saw that against Dallas too, where Dallas won those 2 in a row, and that was a series. And those games were close, but now they have more guys to go to. Dallas made the Thunder feel really thin, as far as wise. And that's not been the case in this series, clearly. The Thunder won off their depth in the past game. But it is interesting that they find themselves in that same position where this game 5 feels so, so important. I think we had similar confidence. I have a lot of confidence, in the Thunder going into game 5. Coming back home, I thought that they executed well down the stretch. The defense has been tremendous on Jokic, which they played tremendous defense on Luka and on Kyrie during that series last year. There's just a lot. The more that I'm thinking about it, the more that I'm kind of drawing back from last year's, that they feel really similar. And I think that game 5 is the most pivotal one. I think that whoever wins on Tuesday wins the series. I really believe that. And I think that it doesn't mean it doesn't go 7, but I think you get a game 7 at home in OKC. I think the Thunder win. And then I also think there's a chance that the Thunder go into Denver game 6 and win. I think that this could be over in 6, and the Thunder just need to shoot well. I mean, it comes down to it. If the Thunder shoot the ball well from 3,
then Denver cannot really.
They can't keep up. They just flat out can't keep up. And the Thunder defense, you know, you want to find reasons for why Jokic is struggling. Well, go back and watch the possessions where Jokic is missing shots. Like one, the Thunder are forcing him to take outside jumpers, and they're, you know, letting him take those, making him take those. But when he's in the paint, they're showing 2 and 3 to the ball every time. You know, there's somebody when he spins, there's somebody there. When he pivots in either direction, somebody's there. You know, you have if it's Hartenstein, if it's Jay Will, you know, both have done very good. But then it's about like, where's the help? And the help is always there.
Yeah.
And also they've done a good job of closing off those passing lanes when they do throw help at him. You know, it's crazy when you look at the assist numbers for Jokic, because, you know, him having more turnovers than assists just doesn't even like register. It wasn't even something that I thought possible for him.
It is the same idea behind what they did against Dallas last year.
Yeah.
Like, let's just demolish Luka. And it was like a Luka game here and there. I think that the way in which the games developed is quite different, in my opinion. In game 4, Shea had to be exceptional.
He was Superman in that one.
Yeah, he basically, and you clearly knew that game 4 was not really sustainable, and that OKC did not find a way to attack Denver in a sustainable way.
Yeah.
I don't feel the same. I mean, to me, OKC has Denver locked up in terms of offense, barring some shooting explosion by Russ and Brown, which are the things that OKC is doing intentionally. They are leaving them wide open to shoot basketball from 3. But everything else, like the intensity, the turnovers, the how we guard Jokic, that is under control.
Mm-hmm.
They are creating, except for the late part of game 3, where they really attacked in a bad way due to spacing. I think that they played well enough to win 4 games, let alone 2.
Yeah, I know.
So it's not that they have to change how they play defensively. They already adjusted in terms of who can be on the court a little bit more. I think that they already see that against Dallas. Yeah, let's try to start Isaiah Joe. Oh, it doesn't work. We're not there yet. I think that they are ahead of where they were last year. Can they lose a game? Sure. Anything can happen. Jokic can go for 65. I do think that though they are, again, they should have done with they should be done with this series already due to how they play. It's really 2 miraculous shots. And you can say, okay, they should be 3-1. That's the same.
Yeah.
They're not, which is the thing. Against Dallas, I never had the feeling after game 1 that they should be up in the series.
Yeah.
I think, they are really lucky that they won game 4. To me, it's serious. Right now they are 2-2, but Denver is extremely lucky to be 2-2. Anything can happen, yes, but I have this feeling that is very different from what they had last year.
Yeah, they are lucky. Also, I don't know if you had the same feeling when you were watching game 4, though, but it just felt like it was not a game they were going to win.
Up until the third quarter, yes. In the fourth, they really started to change the course. And from there on,
that's what I want. And some of it personnel based, but I just wonder if they started to kind of crack their defense, you know, Denver's defense a little bit, because they had 2 drives to the lane that ended up in layups. That it was just like, oh, they found it. You know, it's kind of how it felt. Whereas like, okay, there's some variety here. You know, it's not just Shea trying to drive into 2 or 3 guys and having to swing the ball, and now you're playing with late shot clock, and you know, it wasn't that. It did feel like they had started to really get into a rhythm and find something, in which it didn't ever feel like the Nuggets ever really found anything of significance, you know, to beat the Thunder defense. And that's also the difference from last year's. Like the Thunder defense is just something that, frankly, the NBA has probably never seen before. Like I've never seen anything like it. And they are even up a level from where I thought that they were in the regular season. Like they're giving Jokic no room. And even Jamal was not great in that game, and they're making him really work. And it doesn't feel like Jamal is like able to get to his spots, because a lot of times you can say, well, they're getting to their spots, they're just not making shots. Like it didn't seem like Jamal is getting to his spots.
Yeah.
It seems like the Thunder are forcing him into different areas of the court, and then it's like make or miss, for him. And I think that is something that should obviously travel back to OKC, but then we've seen them play well in Denver, like they've played well enough on Friday, and good on J-Dub, man. I hate that J-Dub game is going to get lost, and then we had to see that offensive performance, yesterday with him. But I still thought he played well. There's a lot of mixed reviews about Dub game. I thought he played really well. I just thought he shot poorly. I think that there's a pretty big distinction there for me on that one. But it's been good to see him as like the secondary scorer be so effective, and so I hope that we get to see that version of him again in this series, because I think if we do, and you just get a little bit more efficient Shea, or you get somebody else hitting threes, I think that you're on your way. You're not asking for every single thing to go right. I don't think you have to have every single thing go right to win this series. The Thunder just need a couple more things, to go right for them to move on to the West Finals.
Yeah, I feel the same. Again, to me, we have to talk about Shea at some point. It's he had like an amazing game too.
Yeah, he did.
But he should be better than this. I mean, at some point his efficiency should be better. Even with all the disclaimers and with all the excuses that we made about the lack of shooting, which is real. It's not like a false excuse. It's something that is there. I think the Shea could be better. He's missing. He's taking shots that are weird and are not his. For example, we are +9. It's 2 to go. Let's kill this game with a 3-pointer. Yeah. When you just had luck in just moving the ball a little bit more. I think that he's trying to find a wow moment for himself, which is understandable. But also, I mean, it's not working for him. So at some point, he has to go back to the things that really work for him. And he went to his spots a lot in Game 4. Just work and try to find those. It's easy to say from here, but it's also something where you can definitely see when he is not really getting there and trying to find a shot anyway, which has healed poor performance as of today.
Yeah. Shea was like one of the only guys in the first quarter, which was just an abomination, that had it going a little bit. There was a couple times that he got to his midi and he, just rose up and took the shot. And it's just like, you want to just see more of that from him overall. It's like, just find these creases and get in there and just take the shot. Just take the shot. Because, and like his 3-ball has been a weapon for him all season, and that has just failed him, as it has many players that we went over that earlier. But it's like, man, like that has just been atrocious for him. And like, you're looking at like these last few shots of his, it's under 2 minutes, and he takes this contested shot with Christian Brown like draped all over him. I was like, what are you doing? I believe that was the play that Chet got the offensive rebound, which was, Chet's not had he's not at the top of his game right now, but Chet's rebounding has been really good.
Yeah.
Has been really good. Yeah, you're right. Like Shea, they're up 7 with minute 34, and he's got Christian Brown on him, and he takes this step back 3. It's just like, what is going on here? You know? And his final shot, which ultimately didn't matter, but also kind of did matter, was like this. Aaron Gordon's draped all over him. He's pivot, steps in, takes this off balance shot, which, Shea's been great at taking everything off balance. It's not like that's not in his bag. It absolutely is, but it's like, is this the best possible shot that we can get in this moment?
That is the thing. That is exactly the thing. Now, since we need a game in this podcast because I want a game, you need to guess the net rating over the past 2 games for OKC players. Top of the top.
The best net rating
over
the last 2 games.
Yeah, which is, by the way, meaningless, but it helps understanding a little bit the story.
Caruso?
He's second.
He's second?
12.2, which is, by the way, very good. 102.3 offensive rating, 90 defensive rating.
Wow. Cason Wallace?
No, sorry, that is Cason Wallace. Alex Caruso is third at 11.1. Similar, very similar numbers.
Okay. Hartenstein?
It's easy. No, it's easier. It's a big number for the first guy.
It's a big number for the first guy.
Yeah, and it's the guy that was basically the guy in game 4. Together with Alex Caruso.
Oh, Wiggs?
Yes, Wiggs is 25.5 net rating.
Whoa.
120 offensive rating, 94.5 defensive rating.
Shot 50% from the field in game 4.
There are 2 guys that are positive. The rest of the team is negative.
Oh, no.
You mentioned one.
Wait, say it again? Sorry, I thought you
There
were...
are just 2 guys with a positive net rating still on the team.
Oh, 2 left that have a positive net rating?
Yeah, all the others are negative. From very negative to, whoa, oh, wow, that's bad, negative.
Is Shea positive?
Shea is positive, plus 2.8.
Is Hartenstein negative?
Nope. Hartenstein is positive, plus 4.5. Okay. They are both around 95 offensive rating and around 91 defensive rating.
Yeah. I mean, those all make sense.
Yeah. Negative. From mildly negative to, oh, dear Lord, negative.
What about Dub?
Dub is the first in terms of reverse standing in negative is minus 5.2.
Okay.
On 38 minutes per game. So it's a big fat number.
Yeah.
But it's not the worst by any means.
Is Chet next?
Chet next, minus 7.8, which is already quite bad.
Yeah, that's
35 minutes per game. 89 offensive rating, 97 defensive rating. Dub is at 99 and 104. But it gets worse, Andrew. Way worse.
Gets worse.
Yeah.
Is Lou next?
Yes, minus 8.6.
Okay.
90 and 99. And then, drum roll, J Will. Minus 16.5, which means please never ever play me again kind of number.
Yikes.
87 offensive rating, 103.6 defensive rating, and Isaiah Joe, it doesn't really count. It played just 5 minutes per game, minus 21. But the J Will minutes, even if they seem to be good, I can pull off the net rating for the entire series, which are skewed too much, I think, from game 2.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in this case, J Will is positive, but it's because of that game to me.
Yeah.
It really
doesn't look that bad when he's out there.
It doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look great offensively.
Yeah.
I think it looks sustainable defensively, which is true. 103 is perfectly fine number, especially with the backup against Jokic. It's perfect. The point is they can't score. They just can't score.
Yeah.
And that is an issue. Again, 13 minutes per game, minus 16. That is a number that should be taken, observe, and act, I think. The other ones, and most of the minutes are with Chet, which is dragging a little bit the number down. So I would really try to see if that is something that you can reduce a little bit and try to find other avenues to play.
Yeah. Yeah, I am so intrigued to see what adjustments they make. One of the big adjustments they made in game 4 was they just had different rotations. They subbed Shea out early in the first, which is not something they do often. And then brought him back earlier in the second so that he could start the second quarter. I thought that was really interesting. We'll just see like what tweaks they make, because they saved their season in that game. Like, I fully believe that, and then they're going to have to save their season again. On Tuesday. They're going to have to bring the same kind of effort. And
it's a 3-game series, so nothing to. It's just a new series. You have 3 games. You need to win 2.
0-0.
Yeah,
0-0 right now.
It is truly 0-0. It's an European playoff series, 3 games.
It's terrifying. What's your prediction? And then we got to get out of here.
I think that they will win in 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the positivity.
Yeah. I mean, I have no idea why I'm optimistic about that, but I am.
Yeah.
I think that they will win big in game 5, and they will just have like a good enough game in game 6. It will be a battle, game 6. But
I like that. One last thing before we go. It's the lottery tonight.
Wow. Let's take a spin.
So Alex and I are doing a live stream for The Athletic on the Athletic NBA Daily's YouTube page. So if you want somebody to watch the lottery with, you can watch with Alex and I tonight, 6:00 Central Time. Join us for the draft lottery live stream with me and Alex. It'll be very fun. We'll be reacting in real time. Obviously, there's Thunder implications here with the Philly pick, and it's quite exciting. So we're going to take a spin real quick and see what we get, and then the actual lottery. Look at that, 5 hours, 31 minutes, 53 seconds. Wow. Okay, here we go. So
yes.
Oh my gosh, this is chaos. This is pure chaos. Houston gets the number 1 pick, which I hate.
Yes, I just look at number 7.
I know. Charlotte jumps up to 2. Washington falls to 3. Toronto jumps up to 4. Utah falls to 5th, which is their worst possible outcome. New Orleans drops to 6. OKC gets pick 7. Brooklyn falls to 8. San Antonio 9. So in this scenario, OKC gets 7, 15, 24. And surely
getting that, knowing that Houston gets the number 1 pick, or not getting the 7, and you're sure that Houston doesn't get that pick.
I would sacrifice the 7th pick so that Houston doesn't get the first pick, honestly, because I know that you could get Philly's pick next year, and I'm not super optimistic about Philly next year either. So I do think like this is like I don't think that they'll get anything higher than the 7th pick next year from Philly. But I do think that they'll get like a decent pick from them. Like this is like the opportunity for this particular draft pick to be like a 7th pick. This is the opportunity. So, but I hate this. I do not want I don't want Cooper Flagg in the West. Flat out, don't want him in the West. We'll do one more just for funsies. Okay, so Philly keeps it. New Orleans gets number 1. I hate that too.
Yeah.
God, they don't deserve to get the number 1 pick. God, there's so much chaos that could ensue tonight. Yeah. So join Alex and I tonight. Please on the live stream. Just search the Athletic NBA Daily, hit the bell so that you'll get notifications, and we'll hang out with you guys tonight. Hope everybody's doing well, and we'll talk to you guys again on Wednesday.